Okay, and we are live. We are live. Guys, I'm just going to post a quick comment with a new link in the chat. Just post it in there because it didn't come up with the one I wanted. But anyhow, what's up, people? You're watching Broadsy Entertainment. We have a lovely show planned for you today, guys. We have a live debate going, are mixed race people black and can black people be racist? I have three lovely guests on the show today. I'm going to start with Ray. Just introduce yourself really quickly. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, hi, my name's Ray, and I am here today because there's a lot of bad press on my TikTok regarding race row. There's a lot of stuff trending as well around race. And I just want to nip it in the bud. I really, really do. I just want to squash the race row. And this is why we're going to be talking about this. And we will elaborate a little bit more. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay, and we'll go to Janita next.
Hi, my name's Jatinder. Yeah, so I have got a lot of opinions about the racism and how people, they don't acknowledge it, especially even the conversations amongst my friends and that. So I've got some life experience.
Oops.
Okay, she's coming back in. Yeah, you're in.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go into later on.
Okay, we lost you for 2 seconds, but we'll go to Denton next. Denton?
Yeah, I'm just Denton. I'm just here for the debatings. You know them ones.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Okay.
the shoe fits. I'm mixed race, black.
Okay. All right, Ray. I'll let you start with one of your comments that you get. You get a lot of hate on social media. I'm going to get up one of your comments, and all of us will just react to it individually. We'll start with you. We'll get the first one up first. I'll let you read it out.
Okay, so call yourself whatever you want to. It don't mean a thing. Rachel Doziel also thinks she's black and she is white. With this comment, I'd just like to say the use of the word black and white as a spectrum. We have black over here, we have white over here, so it's a spectrum of color. Okay, so you're getting different shades and tones. So I really would like to say that to squash it, we are human. Hue as in HUE, an array of shades and tones and colors. So what happened was on my TikTok, there was a girl who was a musician and she'd put a tune out and she'd put, when I am in Europe, I'm black, but when I'm in Africa, I'm white. What am I? So obviously she has two parents of different races, same as myself. But I have been deemed by society as black. So what I did is I turned around and said I was black to someone because someone had commented, why is it when I see mixed race people, they always say that they're black, but they'd say they're never white? And for me, that is because society has already deemed me because of the colour in my skin that I'm already black. I've been arrested, they've said I'm black. I've been to doctors, they've said I'm black. You know, it's even though I do know it's a social construct as well. But let's go back to who is Rachel Doziel?
Okay, cool. All right, Denton, I'll let you go, buddy.
Yeah, it's kind of mad that comment there. It's like I was saying, you're black when it suits them, you're white when it suits them, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's like check the Harry and Meghan situation. Nah, when things started going south, oh, she's black. First off, her mum's mixed race, half. That's white, so that makes her a quarter. So me personally, I see that as more as being on the white side. Do you know what I mean? But that just shows you our society is. No matter what, you fuck up. Sorry for swearing. You mess up. You're black. You know what I mean? And it's like, look at this. It's like, look at things like the pick and choose. No, you're white today, but tomorrow you might be black. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like, look at this. All right, then. It's like, look, Obama. He was the first black president. They said that. Not mentioning the mixed race. Tiger Woods, the first black man to win golf, mixed race.
Mhm.
We're only black if we break the world record or do
Yeah,
some
true.
great
Like
shit.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. So until the meantime, we're just this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Floating around.
Okay. Jatinder, what's your take on the current
Yeah.
situation?
So I think with that, the way I can associate with coming to that is that because I'm a Punjabi Indian Sikh girl, yeah. So my religion is Sikh. But a lot of people, when they use the term PAKI, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Pakistani, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But whenever you're out on the street or in school or whatever, people just call you that word, but they don't know who you are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So exactly like with like Rachel, they don't know who she is, but they want to kind of dictate.
Yeah.
No, you're not that. You are like you're not black. Do you know what I mean? You're white. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it is because people haven't got the knowledge, and I think alone with the social media, a lot of it is to troll like the people as well,
Yeah.
because that's what people like to do as well, isn't it?
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that's the way that I can associate with what people are coming out with towards Rachel is basically
Okay.
they don't know who she actually is, and she identifies as black,
Mhm.
but they're trying to tell her she's something different. The way
Mm.
that people call me PAKI.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah.
So it's like the
Also,
ignorance in people.
could I
Yeah,
just
go on.
interject? Because of me being mixed race and the color of my skin is brown,
Yeah,
people have called me the PAKI
yeah,
as well,
yeah,
as well as the
yeah,
N word, as well as the B word. So it's
yeah,
like, but I've never been called white. So that is my exact reason why I say BME. I am Pan-Africanism. So I'm going on my ethnicity. Forget the colorism, because you can get an Indian that's very dark in color and black.
yeah,
But,
yeah,
but when we say we're black, we're talking about a race. But this is a social construct that's been put together: black and white, black
yeah.
versus white supremacy, black power, KKK, Ku Klux Klan, Black Panthers. And it was
Yeah.
serious out there.
But you know what? Check this one. I'll be more. You know what? This might sound stupid, but I'd take more offense if someone called me a white bastard than a black one.
Yeah.
Okay. Why
I
would
know
you?
what
Why?
you're
Why?
saying.
You see what I'm saying?
But why? Why
I
would you
couldn't
be
go into a
offended?
room full of white man and say, "Yo, I'm white." They don't laugh
Yeah.
at me.
Yeah,
I could
that's
go
true.
into a room full of black people and say I'm black and I'm accepted. That's happened.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Mhm. It's interesting. It's interesting, when people just obviously, like you said, Ray, it's a social construct. People just put some ideas together, and if enough people believe it, it becomes the norm. So it's become a situation where like people will just see anyone. If they see any color in you, you're not white and you're black. That's how you're going to get classed. That's something I've always said to people. No matter what. Sometimes I've encountered people that have they're mixed race, but they've been brought up without a black dad and they've been brought up in a fully white area, and they don't know any different, and they just think themselves. They just think, oh, I'm one of them. I'm basically. They just think my mum's white. They sort of identify as white until they meet someone that's a bit angry with them or whatever, and then they use a racial slur on them, and it becomes very confusing for them, because it's like, what's going on over here? My mum's white. I'm in a whole white area. All my friends are white. I'm one of you guys, kind of. And then obviously when that happens, it can feel like a kick in the teeth. So I'd like to jump to Denton, and if you've got any experiences of when you grew up, like I don't know, how did you feel that?
Yeah, I was confused. But basically, I was brought up in a Jamaican black household,
Okay.
old school. Yeah, so I had that upbringing. So it weren't no English upraising I had. So me being light skinned, and my dad constantly telling me, "You're black, you're black." I don't want to hear about no mix. You're black. That's all I got. Rachel got the same as well.
Oh, we're brothers
Said
and
the
sisters.
same thing to you, didn't I? You said the same thing. Sorry, my phone dropped.
Sorry.
So basically, yeah. So I used to look at my skin. I used to think when my dad used to tell me that, and I'm look at my skin. I'm thinking, but I'm not black though. And it went only until like I'm talking my younger days, like junior school, is when the first racism, when I've actually seen it. So it was the white people what said no, you're black. And it went only until I saw that and I got the racism through that. That's when it clicked in my head, and I thought, you know what, I am black. So I've been black ever since.
Right. So
I always will.
So with that, what you've just said, Denton, you know, when
As light skinned as I am.
they've looked at you.
Skinned as I am. I saw myself as white. I'm thinking I'm not even that black.
Yeah, but still, they've said
I had to go through the racism to make me realize, say, yo, I am black, whether you like it or not. So that's what it is. And I'm guessing it's like that with most mixed race. I don't know about these times, because in my times things were a lot different, and it were more blatant than what it is today.
What about the word half caste, Denton? Go there.
I hate that. The half caste.
It's a derogatory word.
Cast away, cast off, cast out the devil. It's all negative.
Yeah.
And a few years back, there was some talk about they're gonna try and think of a new name for us mixed race. They were coming with all types of shit, dual heritage,
biracial, mixed race.
Some of it I don't even know.
Yeah, but when
so what are we gonna be next year?
Yes, but when we say mixed race, Denton, when we say mixed race, you could be of any race. You could be Caucasian and Indian. You could be African and American.
You know, there's dark Pakistanis and light skinned Pakistanis.
Exactly. That's what I've just said to Chitinda. I mean, even in China, you could get a very dark Chinese person and a very light Chinese person.
Yeah.
But this is what it is with the blacks, and because I've seen it online, dark skin versus light skin and all that crap, and you know what I mean.
Like, to tell the truth, right? I'm guilty of using the word half caste, right? And it's only because of Rachel, because she corrected me on it, right? But that's because I didn't have like the knowledge, because I've grown up amongst a lot of white people, like the people, because we were the second family to move into the Chesterfield area, and I've just grown up again, like amongst white people, and basically I've got like a handful, maybe three like black people or mixed race people, apart from Indians, and that's all I know. Do you know what I mean? So it's like the lack of knowledge as well. But as long as you correct yourself after that, it's the people who don't correct themselves, and then they choose to use it, but knowingly it isn't the right to use that word. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's a big thing as well.
Very derogatory, just like saying P-A-K-I, same as saying the N-word, saying half caste is just the same. So it's like we've got all these labels as well. But the real deal is here, and I'm just going to get it out there, is divide and conquer, segregation. It's all been set up. This is an argument that we've been having for a long time, and there's still no end to it. That's why I just wanted to say, even if you look it up in Google, they have squashed it. Scientifically, it is known there is one race, the human race. We have all different traditions, we have all different ethnicities, we have all different cultures.
You know what I don't like?
My views are not of the Eurocentric. My views are Pan-Africanism. I studied my Black history. I know where I come from. So when I stand up and I say I'm Black, I'm saying it with power. I'm not saying it in some joke thing. But then people want to take I and I for freaking joke, you know, because they're darker than me and they're blacker than me. They've got a black parent and two black parents. that it makes them more kind of, your history is my history.
Yeah, exactly.
Simple. I know what the British have done. Divide.
No, definitely.
I hope you know.
Yeah, exactly. Mm.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like, I'd like to bring like analogy in. Have you seen albino people when you see them? You know,
Yeah.
it's like that. When you see them, they are pale white and they've got like white frizzy hair sort of thing. They have two black parents. They're just as their parents are darker than me most of the time. And you know, when people see them, it's like, you know, sometimes they can be accepted as white. I've seen it before. Like, I don't know if you've watched Big Brother. I saw on Big Brother there was a big thing where there was an albino guy that was on Big Brother. He's called James, and there was like a racial divide in the house. And one of the girls, one of the white girls, didn't realize that he was actually black. She just looked at his color, just looked at him, and just thought, oh, he's white, sort of thing, accepting like that. So that just goes to show you how like silly and confusing it all is. But I'd like to jump in just quickly, just if you don't mind, on the half caste and mixed race, because obviously I've got three mixed race children. You know, I tell them that, you know, it's just like you know your or their mum's half white, half Asian. You know, so I tell them, you know, your skin's just like near enough, just as dark as mine. Society is going to treat you as black. You're black, but obviously, you know that your mum's got a little bit of white in her. But you know, we've all got. If we all did an ancestor DNA test sort of thing, we'd all have different bits in it. But it's so stupid how all these social constructs have come up. It's like all that matters is if you've got a little bit of color in your skin, that means you're going to be classed as not white, sort of thing, you know, and I don't know, but that's just the way it's very silly, you know, it's very silly for me. It's like, but it's what the mixed race and half caste, because I've been guilty of using it, sort of thing, and it's for me, it's like it's an honest mistake. I don't think it's quite the same as saying, like, you might feel to yourself, you might perceive it as like the same as saying the P word or the N word, but for me it's more just like just the word, and there's no bad energy. Obviously, if you say to someone you're half caste or whatever, if you say half caste and they say to you, you know what, I don't like the word half caste or whatever, then you say, okay, no problem, what would you like to be? Obviously, for me it's all silly anyway, because I just see people, you say half caste, but you know, it's just something that comes out, you know. But you know the deal. Society, social construct. You're black in everyone's eyes, you know. So yeah, but yeah. So Jatinder, sorry. So your perspective is kind of like, you know, when people say the PAK word, whatever, you know, and they're sort of generalizing. But you know, I wouldn't give that any energy, because that's just, so, you know, to the racist man's eye, anyone with slightly Asian resembling skin, they're the P word. So I wouldn't give that any energy. There's no education behind it. All that is just pure like negativity and pure, like, you know, they've seen an Asian person and they're a P, you know, and that's just, you can't really worry about what racist people are going to say. You know, that's just something that they're going to say. So that's what I'd say.
Oh yeah, I'm not worried about that. Yeah. I just say to people, like, I've not come across it for quite years, but when I was younger, what I used to come out with afterwards was that.
We're losing her. I think she said that she's going to have some bad connection issues.
You know what I mean?
It froze up, man.
You froze up there. We missed what you said there, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah. So what I was saying is that, like, I haven't come across that myself for many, many years now, yeah. But when I was younger, so what I used to say back to them, thinking what you call it, as I got older, like into my 20s, is what is that the best you can come out with? Oh, I think I heard that but many times, because you have to mock these the people as well. Do you know what I mean? Because some people just go quiet and they walk off, and you got to stand but your ground is well. But this is a point, like, my daughter's 12 now, and she's going to secondary school, but when she's going to primary school, so far she hasn't experienced the racism, which is, I'm glad of. But I know one day she will, for definite. It's just part of the life as well, because people choose, or whichever way. But I mean, like, you'd think that by now people would have a lot more awareness about it. But it's like the programs like these that you're gonna get the message across, hopefully. Do you know what I mean? But what I made a point of with my daughter is not to think it, what you call it, ever ask her, have you ever got called PAKI in school? Because I don't want to make her but look out for that, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So it's something that she has to come to me and say, but somebody called me this today, but what does that mean? Instead of me telling her, or if anybody calls you PAKI, Baki, you come to me. Do you know what I mean? Because a child should be left as a child to learn the things as they think of a grow up. But I was in a conversation the other day, about a week ago. So, like, my daughter, she goes to kickboxing, and me and a few other mums, while they've gone to kickboxing, we just go to Weatherspoons, which is around the corner, until they finish the lesson. And they were talking about an incident at school that happened, and basically it was one of their kids got into trouble, who's why, for something like, I'm trying to
Jets.
She'll come back, but she'll come back, but she'll still be speaking.
She might need to move rooms. Or...
Yeah, Jatinda, I think, you know, you being down in the shop, your internet.
Shall I go upstairs? Yeah. All right.
And then you can finish that.
You guys carry on talking, and then I'll.
No worries.
Should we put another comment up? So yeah, so my TikTok's been just like damaging my, reputation as a recoverer, because I am known as Recovery with Ray. So I'm all about recovery, talking about addiction, talking about mental health and well-being, and spirituality. Yeah, I do kind of touch on culture because I am obviously of an ethnicity. I'm an ethnic minority, obviously. So yeah, it's all popped off. So Brucey is going to bring up another comment. What's your take on it? What do you think, Denton?
Okay.
Mixed race, it's like a transgender claiming they're actually a biological woman. In Jamaica, there are also white Chinese people. What the hell?
So you're mixed race, you're mixed racist. So basically, they're comparing you saying that you're black. They're comparing that to a transgender saying that they're a woman, basically. So,
like in the case that would work in the case of Rachel Dolezal or whatever, or that other woman, that white woman who was on Great Britain, and she had those tanning things, and she went black. Don't know her name, but yeah, that girl. Now, if I was flexing like that, by rights, you can say I'm on them transracial lines, but don't be putting me in them categories. You know why? Because I don't identify as, I am Afro-Caribbean and Caucasian. And it's not like I was dissing my Caucasian side. I was just kind of declaring the fact that first up, on face value, you are going to notice the black in me. Simple. Yeah. But it seems to really put a beat up people's bonnets because they're like, no, you're not black. We don't accept you. It just starts flooding in. So what do you think? Would it be on par with a transgender, Denton? Are we on par with transgenders?
No, race and sexuality are two different things.
Explain that, because you always get people coming out saying it's like some of these transgenders, I've seen them, they'll have a black opposition, just maybe disagreeing with their pronouns or whatever they're doing, and then they'll come straight back at them. That's like me being racist. That's like me saying a racist word to you, sort of thing. They always do it. It's probably the most annoying thing you can do. Compare your choice of actions on your sexuality to someone's actual being born black, being born whatever,
the argument's invalid from the start. Said that. Like I said, it's two totally different things. And like I say, and it's like when people say this, we all bleed the same. Shut up. I'm not hearing that. The blood types out there.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Yeah. We have red blood. And this one, it don't matter if you're black, white, yellow. From there, you've just been racist by saying yellow.
Mhm.
Because the Chinese, they'll say that's racist.
Yeah.
They have all these phrases
So
to make,
would
but
we
I'm not
say?
racist. And then they come with these cornet phrases
So what about
that
is
just
that
contradict
colorist then?
everything.
If
Huh?
we are focused on color, like black, white, red, yellow, is that colorist then? Is that being a colorist? Because then there's a racist that is attacking your race, like you can attack a Chinese race.
I think what it is, it's the color and the culture.
Right, so it's
Because
color
when
and culture.
and that's another thing when people say black, white, we're all the same. No, we're not.
Mhm.
Culturally, we're different.
Yeah, so this is why
White man
when
is different from black man. End of.
yeah,
Whether
well,
you
when
like it or not.
I like to say that we are all human, like I've just said, the Q, the H, the U, the E, the Q, the array of different
Nah,
shades,
the
forms,
dating. Coming back
and
to the dating.
yeah, and
They're
with
trying to
that,
they're trying to come and say, no, it's a culture.
yeah, but when we look
It's
at
a
culture,
gay
there's different
culture.
types
They've
of
even
cultures
got
as
a
well.
flag.
We've got pop culture, we've got like
They've got
culture,
flag.
we've got British culture, you know, where they love fish and chips, they love drink a lot, you
Not to
know.
do with colour.
No, that's got nothing to do with colour, I know that.
No, I'm on about the gay culture though.
All right.
And when they're comparing, when they're saying, oh, when the because gay people will go under the same bracket as black people
Yeah, they do that all the time. They say
when
that all the
getting
time.
harassed.
Yeah,
When
they do
getting
that all the
harassed.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
When
And
getting
that's totally
harassed. Do you see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Different. We've
Yeah.
Now,
has anybody seen?
can someone in some comments tell me or justify how?
Mhm.
Because that don't make no sense to me.
Yeah.
It's
Honestly,
two different things.
They don't listen to that. Honestly, I've seen so many debates, and then the first thing, it's like it's almost like a poke as well. It's like it's like you're black, you know. Why are you arguing? Or why are you arguing me? Because I remember there was on Big Brother, there was one of the guys, this black guy was on Big Brother once, and there was a transgender on there, and the black guy had said that two men shouldn't. It wasn't even a trans issue; it was a gay issue. He said two men shouldn't be able to adopt a child. That's what he said. And then when he got kicked out, and then what the first thing the host said to him was, "Well, how are you having these views when you're black? Would you like?" She actually said that to him. It was,
Wow.
she actually said that to him. She said to him, "How are you having this debate? Would you like it if someone said something about your color?" And that was like a poke. I wish I would have brought it up. I won't plan
It's because black people have been going through this for a long time.
Check this
Has
one.
anybody seen the black and white doll? You know, it's an experiment they do, and everybody, even white
Check
kids
this one.
and black kids, even Asian kids, we're picking the white doll because we are programmed in black and white. It's as simple as that. If we're going to fight anyone down, let's fight Babylon down. Let's fight the government, the people who set this up in the first place. Let's not fight amongst ourselves.
No, listen to this.
I'm tired of that. You know, I've been brought up where I've been attacked racially, I've been racially profiled and everything, you know, but I'm not going to be hating on my Caucasian people. I'm not hating on Asian people. I am not hating on Chinese people. I love all types of people. I love the diversity that we have in this world, on this planet. Now, why the hell? I just feel like slapping up some people, you know what I mean? And just like, slapping some sense into them. Come on.
Yeah. I think
And you know what kills it, yeah? And it has happened, and it has. And it's like if a white person comes into my circle, he's one of the man them. We're not watching he's white, or do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Make that the opposite way. If that were the opposite, it's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, if it were, then both sides of the fences are calling him a bounty. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at the white guy with 5 white man.
Mm-hmm.
Seller bounty.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's like I
This is what
think
I'm
there's
saying.
a
I
bad
wonder.
apple.
I wonder if the white man are saying that when they see the white man linking up with the black man, them
Yeah.
sell out.
Yeah,
Look
I
at
think
them.
I think this is the kind of thing. This is the kind of it's kind of sad. It's like a black guy will have like a white friend, and I've noticed this a lot. Like a black guy will have a white friend sort of thing, and then his white friend obviously associates more with sort of like he's got more white friends as friends. So when they're together, it's like, oh, you're bringing him along sort of thing. But what's interesting is it's like I've got people that are cool with me. They like me. They're happy for me being black, whatever. They'll friendly me. I'll go to for a drink with me. But I know for a fact those people have got friends. I've got friends that are not cool with me. I've had my friends say to me before. I said, look, you know, you're cool. I've got no problem with race or whatever. I like you, whatever. But you know, but then they'll go hang with their friends that do have a problem, and they won't have a problem. They won't sort of defend it almost. You know, it's like. They'll just accept it, sort of thing. Oh, when they're with their friends, it's like, oh, just end this, whatever. Black people do this, white. But you know what? It's not just black people. You know, I'm sure Asian people do it. Even black people do it. You know, like African people will look at someone like me, like you lot are worried. African people that are really darker skin, they'll look at people like me, you know, and they'll be like, yeah, they look well. To be fair, it's a lot of African people look at anyone that's not black. You know, they look at them different anyway. You know, that's just one of those things. Unfortunately, you know, it's one of those things. But Jatinder, you kind of missed one of the questions. It was Ray had a message, and basically someone was basically comparing Ray saying that she's black to the transgender movement. The transgender saying that they're a woman. Something short quickly on that. Your reaction to that one.
So basically, this is the way that I look at it. You know, like there's a bad apple in every thing, isn't there? Like in every religion or every like race, isn't there? And I mean, transgender. Yeah, people have a choice. Do you know what I mean? People have a choice to be what they want tonight. Yeah, you treat me right, and I'll treat you right. Yeah. So it isn't about like belabeling the people. It's like the Rachel was saying. It's about the spirituality and us like as like the humans just treating each other with respect. And if you don't agree with something, then just don't be trying to put your point across for everybody to agree with you. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like the swings and the roundabouts, like because people think in different ways, and a lot of it I think is to do with what goes off back in the family, like what you hear as a child from your parents, and you hear their like the views. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's in all directions. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
But like I was saying, you know, like I was talking about my daughter going kickboxing before, and so there's like me and four what you call other the mums, and there was an incident at the school, and so one of the kids. No, one of the mums of the kids got in trouble with the teacher, and basically what it was, it just happened at lunchtime, and this coloured girl had like the cake around her like the mouth, and one of the kids' mums one of the mums of the kids who's white, he came out with the term, "Oh, you got the brownie around your lips," yeah. So the kid, like the brown girl, went and told the teacher. The teacher ended up shouting at him. So what the mums were saying to me, like it's as though she's been taught to like be aware about stuff like that, yeah. Which they
almost victim mindset, sort of.
Yeah. So she was asking my opinion of it. I said the thing is, it depends on what like the girls hearing at home. Do you know what I mean? Right? Because the thing is, it's like thing it was like my parents have had a lot of the racism to deal with when like they first moved and they got the shop here. they had skinheads coming to the shop. Do you get what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So I just says it just depends on whether it be two, what you call it, like the mum and dad having a conversation about what happened. So she's just aware about stuff like that, but it's not something that is, oh yeah, be thinking aware about the white the people be saying, but this, do you know what I mean?
I
So
hear you. I hear you. I'll put that to Ray and Denton as well. Incident. You guys can respond to it. A teacher's obviously seen a child of color with some brown around their face, and they've said you need to wipe the brown off, and
yeah, they called it
they've got
yeah, they called it the brownie lips. Like, do you know what I mean? So
Is it natural lips? Is it a natural lips?
no, she just, well, she's like the black herself, but because she had like the cake around her lips, like the brown the cake,
Yeah.
so it's called a brownie lips. So
Brownie. She said brownie. Why did she say chocolate lips? Like, you've got chocolate, so
like,
you've got chocolate
like,
around your mouth. Like if I see someone with chocolate
yeah,
around their mouth, whether they were black,
so
whether they were frigging
yeah, you got
white,
chocolate
whether they were
around
frigging
your mouth,
Chinese, I'd be like, you
yeah,
got chocolate around your mouth. So I
yeah,
understand. Yeah, you might have the person that might have been offensive, but
yeah,
bringing it
yeah.
back
The girl
to
took it as a
transgender, bringing it back as well.
Mm,
With the transgender, you're born as a boy or you're born as a woman or a man, and then you want to change to the opposite sex.
yeah,
But people who are born with the race, it's not my choice. That's how I came.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So there's a difference between, back to that comment when that person's saying it's like, you're identifying as you want to. No, darling, I'm not identifying as I want to.
yeah,
It's in my
yeah,
DNA. This is who I am.
yeah,
Chromosonically speaking, even though that's not a frigging word, chromosonically, yeah. You've got your XX for your boy and your XY for your girl, and that's always going to be that you're always going to have that DNA. Don't matter if you want to change it
you're
yourself.
gonna, you're gonna have that until the day you die, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, do you know when like you go to the doctors or
When
something?
people try and put it on par with transgenderism or LGBT, it's got
Yeah,
nothing to do. It's got hell of a
no,
nothing
no,
to do with that. So let's just swipe that. But again,
yeah,
my main thing is we are all human. And I just
yeah,
want to squash the race route, even if you just stuck it in Google, scientific. In 2023 times, yeah, we have.
No worries.
Now, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you still?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. It actually sounds a lot better, actually.
We're having this argument, and we don't really need to.
Thing is, I can't hear you though. Yeah, yeah.
We're all set up.
Okay.
Yeah.
They can't hear you. I can hear you. They can't hear you. Denton, I'm going to go to you now, Denton. What was your take on, just like it could have been a misunderstanding, but the brownie thing on the lip. What's your take?
No, but there is, you know what? There is a lot of misunderstandings because you think about it, because like years ago, certain things were. I know there's no justifying it, but certain things were acceptable and just like. Even on TV, there were racism. It was just, and that P word, that was called at one time. That was the corner shop.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, indeed.
Even my mom used to say that.
Dread. I used to always be uncomfortable with it. Always be uncomfortable.
And I never really thought how deep.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah,
word.
yeah.
That's programming. Yeah, programming.
The corner shop, you know.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's disgusting. It's vile. If you're going to actually say something, say the whole world properly.
Your parents,
Pakistani,
Yeah,
Asian.
Pakistani.
Come on, be correct.
Then you don't take offense, do you know what I mean? But it's because of the word and how the person is saying it. Then like, they're being racist. Do you know what I mean? But then they make out that they're not. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like I call them the clever. Like they're trying to be the clever racist. Do you know what I mean? It's like there was an instant at work where me and my husband, we worked nights at Morrison's, and we were amongst the colleagues, and then we started to realize, especially me, I started to realize, I'm like, there was a father and a son, and they used to come across the aisle that we were like working at, and they used to say Smiths, yeah. So then after a while, I just pulled up like the son, and I goes, but don't we think that I don't know what you're trying to say, innit? You know what I mean? Yeah, disguising the word, like the P word. But then after that, it was a look on his face because he knew that I caught him out. And then after that, they never said it again. Do you know what I mean? So, of course, they were saying it, but they were disguising the word because we're in the work environment. So if they came out with the actual P word, then what you call it, I could have got them the sack. Do you know what I mean? So people try and be clever about it as well.
Definitely, I take that on board, but I also take on board what Denton said, like because it's like if like I witnessed this. It's like one, and this was an Asian guy that I used to work with, but we used to work like it was like a predominantly all white company sort of thing. We used to do deliveries, and we had a white guy that always used to say the P shop, the P shop, the P shop. Go to the P shop and get us this, and he used to say it all the time, all the time. And this actual Asian guy came out of it one day. He was like, "Oh yeah, we've got to go to the P shop for so and so." And I was like, I think it takes a while for you to be, I don't want to say spiritually strong enough, intellectually strong enough to challenge certain things, because it's very important that you do challenge things. Because like, even thinking back to me, I never ever challenged my boss when he used to say, "Go to the P shop, go to the P shop, go to the P shop." I never challenged him on it. Whereas like it does take a bit of time, a bit of courage, a bit of life experience to get there, sort of, But
yeah,
I think,
definitely.
so when you get young kids saying the P shop, their dad saying it 24/7 in the house. So like just that little bit of programming from my employer, from my boss, from my old boss, actually programmed an Asian driver to say the P shop, and he was like Filipino, so he used to say he was Filipino, so he used to say the P shop, like he said it, he just came out of it, and then I think he thought to himself, what the hell did I just say, But that's how easy programming can be done, It's quite scary. It's quite scary.
Yeah.
What is scary as well is internalized racism when they take it out on themselves. So then you'll get someone saying the P word to themselves, derogatory, like using that derogatory word on themselves. I don't know if it's a sense of empowerment, like taking it back, like they do in the LGBT, calling it a queer. When people used to say you're queer, that used to be offensive. Now they've took that on board. LGBTQ, the Q means queer. The reason why I know that is because I used to work on the LGBT committee as well. So I've worked in a few committee on a wide range of things. BME, being on the BME committee. Our BME community is very, very slacking in Sheffield anyway, by the way. So Sadaki ain't doing shit. Yeah, I said it.
Who?
Sadaka.
You said it many times, haven't you?
Sadaka. That's what I said.
Okay. Also, as well, I wanted to bring up this victim mindset. You mentioned it as well, like this victim mindset that these younger generation of children are just becoming so sensitive, even where it's got like in football. Like I tell my kids all the time, like if they come to me with any foolish, this person was being racist from a very young age, I said, what did they say? That's not racist. That's not racist. Don't be stupid. And I've always programmed that in my kids. I don't want this victim mindset thinking, oh, they said brown, I've got brown skin. And that's the worst thing you can do. But a lot of these kids are brought up so weak. And, it's not even that they're so weak. A lot of the times, mixed race children are brought up by a single mum, and that single mum happens to be white most of the time, and they tend to not know, especially if they haven't got a black guy in the house that's like telling them, nah, just chill, that's nothing, they can be very like, almost liberal with sort of thing, and anything that's said, oh wait a minute, you're being racist. So everyone's pointing the finger at each other. You're racist. Where you just need to empower children at a young age, like that's not racist. It's like, for instance, my son's football team, he had a black player and they went to play a game, and the boy was like running down the ring really fast. And the kids were shouting Pele, and the kids got kicked out. My son's team lost the game, but the team that they played got kicked out of competition because they classed it as racist. Kids calling a black guy Pele, and I was like, there's no better honor than calling someone a footballer, That's like comparing like a white person to Cristiano Ronaldo, a black person to Ronaldinho, or Pele, for instance, or whatever. For me, that's just the most silliest thing you can do. I'll put it to you guys.
It's like we've got another family who are also Sikh, and they let white people call them Paki. Do you know what I mean? And it's like one of the mums who I go to kickboxing with, and she was saying that she's got a friend, and like he's what you call it, okay by calling him the P word, and she goes, "So what about you?" I says, "For me, it's a no-no, and dead but said that no one's allowed to call me that because I would take offense." Do you know what I mean? Now, some people they think they let that happen, but to me, I would never let that happen. Do you know what I mean? It's like because that's just the way that our family is. Because because what you call it, also because as we're growing up, you've heard it in an offensive way, especially because we've got a shop and we get many of the public becoming in. So then it's like, nah, no, that ain't gonna happen. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. One of those things where one of those things you have to challenge it and knock it on the head straight away.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
plus,
you'll be saying it, or your kids will be saying it. That's even worse. Your kids will come out and say it one day.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And then it's like at work as well. When I was working at Morrison's, the same thing, and with the dad, and he came out with a lot of stuff one night, and he was saying it out loud, and even my manager heard it, and a few other colleagues heard it, and I had a mixed like Barista colleague, and I heard her say he best be shut his mouth because he's going to get into trouble. So then I went into it the next day, and I pulled up my manager, and I says, "Look," I said, "I know such and such were talking out loud, but like the last night, right?" I says, "Now I want to keep my head down and get on with my work, but when someone's blatantly being racist, and you're not doing nothing about it, well, that's a separate issue." I says, "But tell him one thing from me is that this time, yeah, but give him a warning, but next time I'm gonna get him the sack." So I gave him a chance to rectify himself, because I could have took it a step further and like got him the sack, but then I thought, well, he's got a family to feed as well, so give him a chance, but if he does it again, then it's a different story.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Sorry, I had to jump in. It's amazing that you yourself, if you're a victim of racism or whatever, you end up feeling like the bad guy. You end up feeling empathy. Yeah. It's amazing, man, isn't it? The person's had no qualms insulting you, insulting your family, insulting your kids, whatever it is. But the moment you put a complaint in, and then you're the one that's the victim, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane. I'm going to move it on to the last part of the debate. I should really update this. Can Black and Asian people be racist in this?
No.
Okay. No. Denton was hard no, so let's go with Denton straight away.
No.
Explain, Denton. Can Black people or Asian people be racist?
Because racism was created for us.
Okay, explain.
To be used against us. So how the hell can we be racist?
Okay, I can understand where Denton's coming from that angle. My question, my answer to that is
to destroy us.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, and we know that through the white supremacy. So it's through the white supremacy, hence why they've made this race segregation thing that we're still to this day arguing about. But for me, anybody can be a racist. I've heard people say bad about Chinese, bad about Indians. An Indian could be bad about a Chinese person. It's just, race. Anybody could be racist.
I've been called racist. You know how many? When the George Floyd thing kicked off, the amount of people calling me racist on Facebook.
What did you say?
Why?
No, because I was just saying, oh, it's dread or whatever, along them lines. Do you know what I mean?
I don't understand.
Like you talk about Black history. Yeah. You talk about Black history. Well, you got a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I don't like about that is when they tried to shut it down straight
You
away.
talk
It weren't
about
that
it.
long ago. It
You're
was
kidding
not
me.
that long ago. There were
Come on, get
human
over that was
zoos.
years
I
ago.
know there were
You
human
never
zoos
around then. You weren't
in
born then.
1950s.
That's
In
all we get.
1950s, there were human zoos.
That's
Do you know
all
what I
we
mean?
hear.
And when people say that and come with that bar
Get
about,
over it.
oh, get over it. Yeah, don't be saying that. It only happened so long ago.
Yeah, it's not been.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not one to like. I'm not one to empower any sort of I'm not. I've got a lot of friends that are very very into like the Pan Africanism and stuff like that, and they talk about reparations and they always bringing up slavery and stuff like that. I'm not one of these people that empowers that. I've got to be very honest about it. You know, like in this day and age in the UK, black, white, Asian, whatever, you might have a harder job, whatever. But there's nothing stopping you from achieving your goals other than yourself. There's
It's
nothing.
true that.
There's
True that.
nothing. Black, white, Asian, anything you are.
You
There's
just got to work a
nothing.
bit extra harder than the
You might
white
have-
man, but
You might have
Very
to work
good,
a little bit
Denton. That's
harder.
right. That's right.
it can
You might have to
happen.
work a little bit
You
harder,
got
but, you know,
no, but you got to put that more. You listen. You got to put that extra work in, though.
You have. You have.
You got to put that extra work in. Don't forget that part.
It's true. It's true.
It
That.
can happen. I know what you're saying. It can happen.
Yeah.
It can happen. Can't hold you down. You just got to fight through it.
Yeah.
Mm.
When I speak to some of my guys, and they're very big into the Pan Africanism stuff, and they talk about racism, and they obviously go straight to the definition. Racism is prejudice plus power, and they say their argument is black people have no power. And and this really will annoy most people that aren't black. That will annoy them because 70% of people in the UK live paycheck to paycheck. Predominantly out of that 70% of those people, what color do you think they are? What color do you think the majority of that 70% of people are in the UK? So you're going to have very upset. So some white people get very upset when they hear about this power business because they're like, wait a minute, we're working check to check. We're working check to check. We're doing all these jobs that everyone else is doing. You know, we're doing the binman jobs, we're doing the postman jobs, we're doing all these jobs, and you're telling us we got power. So that really does piss a lot of people off, you know. And then obviously, what I normally come back with when I say to people like some of my Pan African guys that say you can't be racist if you're black because you don't have no power. And power, like your supervisor has power over you. Your manager has power over you that can dramatically affect your life. Like I've been in jobs in sales jobs where the whole company was African. The whole company was African, and we had one or two white sales reps in there. And I'm telling you, like I had to speak up quite a bit because there was a lot of comments. You pink boys can't sell. You this can't do this. You can't do that. And I had to pull them up quite a bit. But it was so embedded in that company, like because it's a fully African company, African sales force, and there was a handful of white people in it. And they got picked on a lot. And I used to always speak up and say stuff. So from their perspective, they would say, you know, you're exercising racism and you're exercising power over me. So that's my argument when people say you can't be racist to white people. Let's attack it. Everyone have their say on it.
So, like, I'm not gonna mention because I could have family black watching, right? But I have actually been seeing it myself where Indians have been racist, you know what I mean? Yeah. Right? And they have. And I'm talking about the older generation. Yeah. So I'm like, it's like, well, it can work both the ways and that's why I say there's a bad apple in every situation. But do you know how you were talking about the work environment? Now, I've got a family member who works for a supermarket, and he was pointing out to his the Asian friend, and she didn't really click on until he mentioned it. So I'm talking about Derby area, yeah. Derby area has got a lot of Indians there, and basically there's only 2 store managers who are Indian, yeah. So like Denton was saying, you have to work harder, a lot harder to get to where you want to be. And another example I've got two cousins, and they tried a very long time to get up the ladder in a bank, and they could see that they couldn't get any further up, and that's because of the colour. So they ended up getting a shop.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? So it is amongst like do you know, like the work environment. If you're trying to get to a manager level or store manager or above that, it's a lot harder.
And how do we tackle that situation though when we're fighting
Why-
with such a
why-
monster?
why-
How do
why
we tackle
would
that
you leave?
situation?
Well, basically, the person who was speaking to me, right, the family member, he felt like doing something like this to make people aware, you know, like a workshop, or to get like the people aware that things but like this but like
Awareness.
that doesn't happen. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So he was like, because it really got to him, because he was at this level for a very long time, and he was good at his job, but every time he went to get to the next title, they were like, "Oh yeah, you're not experienced enough." But then you see a white person who's got no experience get the job that he's going for, and that really peed him off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course, it would do anybody. But again,
Yeah.
it just goes back to this setup that we are in. You know, that the white supremacy is put upon us. They weren't. And listen, there's such thing as Negropeans as well. I know about that because I know about my thing. Yeah. So obviously, some of the Negropeans parred with the Caucasians, them insult their own people out as well, so they could, excel as well, because
Yeah.
it becomes a dog eat dog world as well, an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. I don't go on like that. I'm all about uniting, harmony,
Yeah.
moving forward together, peace.
And the main culprits that we see is like, the media, like the politicians. I mean, you're only going to make the changes if, say, the leadership are going to start to make the changes as well,
Yeah.
where people look up to people, and people who are running the countries start to make the people, like, instead of doing the divide and rule thing all the time, like you were saying before.
I know.
Denton, what was your take, Denton? Denton, because we missed you sort of, on the whole sort of.
No, that's not going to happen, though.
What's not going to happen?
What you were just on about then.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to tackle the situation because they're always going to be continuously, throwing shit at us for us to argue as human beings anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, Denton, I totally agree, and that hurts.
Media, TV, how they place everything out.
Yeah.
I think as well though, what some people like, sometimes we look too much at race and we don't think about it logically. So let's just imagine, for instance, you're a manager of a company, and you've got employees that have been there for so long, they're really good employees. But one of your aunties phones you and says, "Oh, my nephew needs a job. Can you give him a bring-in?" Most of the time, it's just that. You're getting a bring in from a friend. You're getting a bring in from a family. Something like everyone's heard the expression, "It's who you know." It's not what you know. It's not what you know. It's who you know. I've known people that have got no experience, 20 years old. Their dad knows someone in the company. My daughter needs a job. Boom, straight in 30 to 40 grand a year. So sometimes that's not. Sometimes that's just like sort of, I don't know what's the right word for it. That's just like, it's just who you know. Who you know. If you know people, you're good. So it's not.
My phone's gonna die. It's on 5%.
No worries, guys. We will wrap the show up now. Last thoughts on the show. We'll start with Jatinder.
Last thoughts. Just I think going forward to this is that people should be educating the kids a bit more, because it's only the next generation who are going to come into it. And just like doing the things with the more and more awareness about it. Do you know what I mean? And don't be afraid to speak up, but think about it, but logically as well. Because sometimes, a lot of the time, I do keep my mouth shut. This is the most I talk about it, because it's just like,
Okay. That's fine. Denton, last thoughts, buddy. Last thoughts. It's been fabulous having you on. Lovely hearing your insights. And this is just like a part one, guys. We can definitely do a part two. You know, where we can go into it more in depth. So don't stress about it. Denton, last thoughts.
Yeah, just stay blessed and just do you, be you, because there's 7 billion people out there.
Okay.
Be you. I'm me. That's all I can be. Do you know what I mean? I've been called racist. I've called that racism. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
There's someone probably watching this saying this guy's racist. But you know what? I'm not gonna pick it. But you know what? I'm not. I'm still gonna be smiling and enjoying my day. You know them ones.
Definitely.
So it's just about respecting people's opinions and views. Do you know what I mean? And we've all got a right to hear them out.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Ray, Ray, I know you're about to cut off any minute. I'll let you just wrap the show up for the last bit of it. You know, just last insights on the show or last message as well.
Well, I just found my charger and I just charged it anyway, but it's okay. Yeah, but yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we could obviously go around in circles talking about this all the time, continuously. I mean, I don't mind doing another topic on it because, yeah, I think it does need coverage. And again, like you said, it needs to be logical. Because for me, it's about trying to squash it because the people who we are, we don't need to fight amongst ourselves because we've been doing that for years, centuries. We need to be fighting Babylon, the government, the system, who put all this in place in the first place. And that's all I'm going to do.
I love white people. Don't get it twisted. I'm not going to say that my mum was white and all that crap. I'm not saying that, but I do. There's genuinely good people out there. Don't think everyone's bad mind out here, you know. There's genuinely good people, black, white, all types of races. There's good people out there, but people are just focusing on the bad ones, highlighting them, giving them the credit. Like these documentaries, they focus on the serial killer, not the victims.
Yeah,
I know every single serial killer name going.
Yeah.
I don't know one victim.
That's terrible. That's
terrible. That's good.
I hate that. I hate that as well. And one thing that really pees me off is these mass shooters that do these mass shootings and they shoot people and then they put their guns down like a bunch of pussies and they expect the police to take them in handcuffs and, you know, and then they write a book deal. You know, my thing is if anyone does a mass shooting in America, the police should be given full rights to execute that person on site, you know. Straight away, if you go into a school to shoot children, you're not coming out to write no book deal. You're getting executed the moment you come out.
But the white boy shot the black church. Man got McDonald's, KFC. Black man, he gets shot 10 times.
America's got totally different issues, you know, like America's just got totally different issues. There's nothing we can sort of like do about America. America's just dead. If you ask me, they call themselves a superpower. They're dead. They can't even give their people free health.
We're on the same globe. Things travel over. I remember back in school when my mum said he's gonna watch in years later. It's gonna be bad like America.
It's getting there, especially that's where all this
there you go. It's getting there.
And Jatinder, I'd like to say to you as well, like you said that this is the most you spoke about it, and you said that you sort of suppress a lot of your views. I can see you're kind of like the person that when you hear stuff, it will take a lot for you to sort of like.
I'm very patient. Yeah, you can aspiration. I'm very patient.
I can definitely see that from you. So like, you must get annoyed. You must get to a point where you think.
Yeah, the thing is, I do get annoyed, but the thing is, do you know me? I just laugh about it because it's like I'm still a person. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'll give you one quick example. My very first, the clear memory of racism is when I was in primary, and I was in the first year, and my older brother was in the last of the year, and his friend, who didn't know that I was his sister, she came up to me and she called me the P word, yeah. And then on that day, because that's the first time I've been called it, and the next day she came up to me and she apologized, right? She apologized and she says, "Oh, you're Suki's sister, aren't you?" And I goes, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh, I didn't mean to call you that. If I knew you were Suki's sister, I wouldn't have said it." And I thought to myself, well, that don't make no difference though, does it?
No.
That's
Do you
the
know
worst
what I mean?
excuse. That's the
So
worst excuse she should have said.
yeah. So yeah, because the thing is, it's like me and my brothers, we do have a lot of conversations. We've had people come in the shop, and we see a lot of people all the time. When like you've got a house, you think you only let whoever you want in it, but public are coming into the shop in it. I mean, my parents have had the shop for, well, I'm 42 tomorrow, so happy birthday to me tomorrow. But
Wow.
yeah, but they've had the shop for 44 years. Yeah, and then you still get it, but a lot of people know not to mess in this shop, apart from the newbies who come in, because we'll just put people straight and then they're out. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, very very laid back, and I just let things be thinking, and I try and talk at the right time, basically.
Yeah, sometimes that's a good thing as well, because sometimes
Yeah.
some people, they hear something and they just gotta go, and then
No.
on reflection, they could think they might have attacked someone, they've heard something, attacked someone, or jumped into a heated debate, and then on reflection later on they sit back and think, oh wait a minute, I may have taken that wrong. So it
But
is sometimes better.
the thing is as well, a lot of the time, because some people don't stand up to them, because like they try and go for the victims, and because we've always stood up before ourselves, then they don't know what to do. Do you know what I mean? And they just stood in the tracks and like, hang on a minute, these are starting to attack us, but we're attacking them for the right reasons, and they're attacking us for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's like defense and offense, isn't it?
yeah,
So you can defend yourself.
yeah, exactly. Everyone has
You
the
got
right
a
to
book,
defend themselves. It's like,
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap the show up. We'll definitely do like a part 2 of this, guys. But I'm gonna wrap it because I know I've kept everyone longer than it is. So let me just end the show, guys. That was the debate on race, mixed race people. All different sorts of debates we've had. Thank you to all my guests for coming on. Everyone have a fabulous day. The video will be on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Everyone have a good one.